Hey guys, this is Arnie Newton, Mr. Short Sale, and today I got a special guest, Seth Williamson.
Hello.
So Seth is a fellow investor, but not only that, he knows how to create software. So how is that important today? Well, as investors, we definitely need a CRM program, a way to follow up our leads, and really just manage our life, right? Because our life can be very hectic as an investor. You're
Mhm.
constantly, finding leads, following up on leads, doing your social media, you know, um, making sure your calendar, is linked to your life, right? There's a lot of things that we need these type of softwares for. Well, Seth was creating I call it a CRM, but it's actually a automation software for small businesses.
Yeah.
The beauty about this is Seth knows what we're looking for because he's done real estate. He's worked with a lot of big time real estate investors here locally in Arkansas, and he knows what we want, right? What we're trying to track, follow up, and things like that. So, with that being said, we'll go right to the meat and potatoes. So he's creating this software. It's not 100% live yet. I'm helping him kind of build on the investor side what I need, and it's actually going pretty smoothly. So it'd be a great time. I told Seth, I was like, let's get this um, live. Show other people what he's trying to build, what we're trying to build, and see if other investors would like this. Um, Oh, I think I forgot to mention. This actually, you can actually create websites, right?
Yeah.
Websites, funnels
Yeah.
through this program, right? So everything you need as a young investor is here.
Oh, like
You
everything
can
you
build,
need as in a business in general is covered. You know, really any type of automation that you need for small business, as far as like daily task or like really the big thing with investors is that the follow ups or where it's gonna because most of the time, especially like with investors, the biggest downfall and the biggest drop that you have is, you get a lead in, but you don't follow up with them, or life gets too hectic, or you're trying to land this deal, so you forget about that one, you
yeah.
know. So
And if we've missed a deal because of that, um, that's okay. But if you continually do that, you're losing a lot of money there, right?
a lot of margin dropped.
I've always taught, you got to follow up, minimum sometimes 10, 15, 20 times on some of these deals, right? But if you're doing, agent outreach, you're doing, a lot of off market contacts, you know, uh, agent outreach, real estate agent outreach, that's a lot of people, that you're talking to. There's a lot of appointments that you can miss. There's a lot of follow ups you'll miss. I know it. I've been there, right? There's times I'm like, a month later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this lead back in the day, and I look it up and it's already sold and it's sold to some, maybe another investor, it drives me crazy, right? But there's a lot of CRM software out there. I mean, me personally, I probably have like four different softwares that I bought. When in reality, you only need one, which is what you're looking at right here, right?
Yeah.
So amazing. I'm super excited. When Seth brought this up to me, I was kind of hesitant at first, like, okay, here's another software, right?
Dude, that's what everyone says. Everyone's just like, okay, I have that, it's called HubSpot. Cool.
Yeah, or Pipe Drive.
Or
There's just
they have this,
or
or we have
Podio.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Podio's a big one, right? But you have to do that a lot yourself. You have to build it yourself. The beauty
Either
about
that.
this. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Either that, or you get just very basic things,
Hmm.
and then it's yeah, it's like 50, $60 a month. But
Yeah,
if you want to do this, then it's an extra 20. And if you want to do this, then you end up spending $400 or $500 before you even know it,
yeah.
and just to have all of its functions, like
And you have to go to like three different websites to get to some of these areas. It's
yeah,
it's just not integrated enough, right?
right,
And I'm not kidding, guys. I mean, this has everything there, and then it's all the cool thing about it is it has his own app, right? So has its own dashboard, so you can basically function just by using this app. You can go to basically you can track everything, all your leads, potentially through the app.
If you get any type of new leads or anything like that, it drops it as a notification to your phone.
It's amazing. Yeah. And so what I think what we'll do, Seth, is let's just start, really what this, the value for investors, real estate investors. Okay. So we can maybe talk a little bit about the websites. How is this, maybe about the templates, the funnels, maybe some, how the calendar stuff, how's that linked?
Right.
What else? QuickBooks is linked with QuickBooks. We won't go too much, I guess, into that, but we can kind of show you like how that's linked in a way.
Right.
Social media, right, is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can basically post. Tell me if I'm wrong on this, Seth. Am I able to post social media content through this website?
Yeah. So you're gonna connect with Google My Business. That's the first thing. If someone out there is watching this and they don't have a Google My Business, that is the very first thing you need to go do right now. As far as like ranking and stuff is on your like online, especially with Google, you do have to have that started to kind of start to gather that online organic ranking. But so like Google, Facebook, Twitter, I think it links with, what is it, TikTok? To be honest with you, I don't.
There's a lot of things.
I don't use TikTok, so I always forget about it. To be honest with you, I don't use Twitter, but this has made it simple enough to where like I post to Twitter now, but there's a few out there that or there's a few things that it connects with socially. So instead of going to each individual location, you just come to the back end here and you can post to every channel right there from the back.
Amazing. Okay, so let's just get right down to it, huh?
Yep.
So let's start with say I'm a brand new investor. Okay. Just got into his business, maybe even a wholesaler or something like that, looking for some type of automation or automation software for my business. So let's start with that.
Okay. So really, the biggest thing I think would be beneficial. Most of the time, there's lead generation that everyone has issues with. The cool thing about this is, so we can create funnels and we can create websites and everything through it. So anything that you create through the back end of the system, you can pretty much take and share anywhere. So you can share it socially. You can make a QR code and have people scan it. Literally any way you want to deliver that to them, they can do so. And so if we were to do like for lead generations and stuff, people always think that if you have a website, that's what you got. That's all you need. That's all you got to go for, But the problem is you still have to generate traffic to go to that website. And that's where something like this is going to come in handy. Because if you're like posting out to socials and you're posting out all these places where it's got a lead capture form, it's going to connect with the back end of the system and then start to follow up with those customers, or I say customers, clients, leads, whatever you'd want to call them, depending on the business you're in. It follows up with them consistently. So the cool thing about it is it will not allow you to forget about a lead unless you just don't care to follow up with that lead. And it stays on top of them. And then if you don't convert it, it gets onto you and tells you, hey, you never contacted this person. So it's really beneficial because it doesn't allow you to forget about that lead. But as far as that,
the cool thing though, it'll automatically, send out emails, potentially text messages, right? As an automatic follow-up. And you basically direct this program to do what you want to do. How many follow-ups, how long?
Right. So currently we have it built for 90-day follow-up, depending on what it is. And we've got, we've got for like foreclosure, we've got for, just regular leads that come in, working on, see what else we got working on here. So you're kind of helping me kind of like put this together. Like I've been in this system for a long time, but as far as like, what the average investor, everyday investor wants. And so I'm kind of basing that kind of on what you do, because I know that you do a lot of stuff. So we can really find something that's going to work for everyone. Right. As far as like that follow-up system, I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. So, we were kind of talking about, new investors,
Mhm.
what are they, what do they need, right? So number one, they need a website,
Right.
right? So instead of going hiring somebody to build a template, or you can go to Carrot, and Carrot is obviously a great website where you can get, a already up and running,
Oh yeah.
investor website.
Oh yeah. Carrot's great.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's amazing.
yeah.
But you
The
have to
only
pay for that every
do what?
month. You got to pay for that obviously every month as well, right?
Mhm.
So these are the things that you're paying for every month. When this
Right.
program has everything for you, has the basic template, but you can always upgrade the website. If you don't like the website, you go to Fiverr, right?
Mhm.
And the cool thing about this program is you give them access to just be able to create the website, right?
Mhm.
Or edit the website, and they can
Yeah.
create it for you.
You
But
can give temporary access to create website, create automation. So you can literally hire somebody off online, someone that does this every day or whatever. If you've got someone
Mhm.
that that's already in your network, in your system that does this, you can pretty much put them in the back end of the system as staff, and they can go in and build everything for you to your liking, to your standards. So we're with me, I do that for other investors as well. So if you were to hire somebody like me, so you would own it, but I would be put on there as staff with permissions to build and edit like funnels, websites, do socials, whatever you want to give them access to. Yeah.
Okay. So just real quick, can you explain to the audience a little bit about funnels if they don't understand what that means? What's up
Okay.
the difference between a funnel and like a website?
Yeah. So websites, I mean, essentially they're the same thing. Uh, and really it just kind of depends on how you look at it. As far as funnels, it's a way to quickly capture information. So instead of, this is about us, this is where we started, this is how it is, this is how our business works, this is how, the whole system, instead of giving every ounce of information about your business and your company and your website where you have all of that, where that's needed, most of the time. So with something like, especially with investors, their point is to solve a problem.
Right.
So what we do is we take and we isolate that problem. So as far as it may be foreclosure, it may be they're looking for landlords that are, you know, that have too many repairs and they're letting their properties go bad. It could be just regular sellers with inherited property or absentees. Like, so basically whatever, um, I guess, facet we're looking for, whatever type of lead that we specialize in, depending on your investment strategy. It may be this, it may be that. We can isolate that that problem. So with websites, we're going to say, hey, we cover this and we do this and we do this and we do this and we do this, and you're going to offer everything that you do on that website, so people know what it is that you can help them with. Where with funnels, what we're going to do is we're going to isolate that type of buyer or that type of seller, and we are going to reach out to them specifically. So that funnel is a short form basic website essentially, where instead of it having all that information, it just says, hey, if you're facing foreclosure, we can help. Get in contact with us today. Put your information in. So we're going to keep it really kind of a short form, to where we instantly hit that hotspot for that lead, or that potential lead, to get them to put the information in that populates the back end of the system that will automatically start automations to reach them, that is designed in a way that it reaches out to them to solve their issue without having all the extra stuff included.
Love it.
So
Love
it
it.
really lets you narrow in your target audience, and really cater to that specific audience. So even if you do every type of investment strategy, it's not, you don't have to hit everybody with everything. You can really narrow it down to what you're looking for.
Uh, Essentially, that's what a funnel is, right? You're just
Right.
funneling all those whatever you're trying to funnel into to you,
Right.
right?
And I know that
Um,
was a long way to explain it, but
yeah.
it's kind of, yeah.
No, I just want to make sure, let everybody know that some people know what funnels is, newer investors. Even for me, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know what a funnel was for the longest time. I mean, I had to
Yeah.
learn it, right? I
The
was like,
thing
oh,
is,
that makes more
from the
sense.
surface, it's just like, what I mean, that's the one problem that you, or the one question that everyone has. It's like, what's the difference in a website and a funnel? You know, and I mean, when I first started doing this years and years ago, however long that's been, I was looking at it's like, okay, what is a landing page versus, and
Yep.
essentially landing page and funnel are the same thing. But it's
Yep.
like, what's a landing page versus this? What's the difference? And it's because we can hit that key aspect for that lead.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, let's kind of show somebody, what a template would look like. Like I said, we're actively working on the investor side.
Mhm.
Okay. So Seth is building this really for me right now. So they'll help out other investors in the future.
Right.
But I believe you do have a website so far, like a quick template. What?
Right. So what we're looking at right now is basically a template that everybody will receive,
Okay.
once it's going. So yours, we're building off of the template and customizing it. And that's the cool thing about this is we can customize it to anything. You can customize the forms, your strategy types. You can do whatever you want, change whatever images you want. You don't have to keep it. You don't even have to use it, but it's there if you need it. So as far as like a website, I said it's very, very basic. But if you do not have, Adam West, that's my test. Anyway, if you do not have a website and you have no way to capture information, this is great to get started. And like I said, it works through like Elementor, like style builders. So it's very drag and drop. So even if you have no experience in coding or experience with any of this stuff before, it doesn't take you long to sit down and actually, learn to build something. So it makes it really simple.
And literally, like we talked about before, Seth. You can go on Fiverr
Mhm.
and find a website builder, right, and create it how you want it, right, to add on to it, right.
Yeah.
But for a new investor, this has everything you need right now. As an investor,
Right.
Okay? Now, if you want to make it, different colors, you want to add a little more, graphics, things like that, videos, you can do that to this. You can do it yourself, or like I said, you can hire somebody to do it. And
It's very simple, unless you want something really, really well-rounded and really robust and really different than every other person. I mean, this definitely serves the purpose. But yeah, you can build it any way you want to.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it kind of really depends on your strategy. But especially with a lot of stuff today, everyone's going into sub 2, man. So this screen looks a lot different. But you were talking about with the videos. Video sells. Video is like the absolute best, especially when it comes down to marketing yourself. So if you're bringing them, back to you, if you shoot a short video and you link that video onto the website, very, very simple process, by the way. You can pretty much reach your audience by your video and kind of explain to this what is it that you do, what you're doing it for, how you're doing it. It can really be whatever you want to do. But I mean, pretty much all of these different places. So whether it be foreclosure or just be a regular, a regular lead, whatever. Since we're in a template view, it's going to be a little weird. But with the setup of this, no matter where they come, like no matter what their issues are, we can really turn around and all of these forms will go and start automations based on how the user takes action. See, that's one of the things that a lot of the, like Carrot, you were talking about being really nice. And they may have been implementing this at some point. I'm not sure. I have worked on Carrot. I just don't currently work on Carrot at the moment. But, that was a thing. It captures the information. But the problem is, the things that I had to face in the past was once we captured that information, it would send us an email. It would tell us, "Hey, you've got a new lead," but that's about where it ended. It didn't really go further. And then, so when it comes down to it, you have a website, that's great. It's got SEO. So this one, you can set up all your SEO settings, your tracking, your customer success.
That's awesome.
You can do everything you want to with it. Like I said, this is very basic. And the only reason it's really basic is because it's just basic to fit everyone's needs. And the goal is to eventually kind of build it up a little more, make it a little prettier with custom code. But right now, I'm just trying to get it out there to people that just don't have anything at
Yep.
all, it really helps them. Um, but yeah, the issues that we were running into with Carrot and a few other places, yeah, their websites look great. The problem is that, it goes so far and then it stops. And then you have to export your list and then load it into the back end of a CRM.
Mhm.
And then once you get that other, CRM or whatever, if it does allow workflows and builders, the problem is that, they don't, it's not included.
Yep.
You have to build it yourself or hire somebody to build it, or they'll offer it to you. And when they offer it to you, they'll offer it to you for $1,500. We'll build this into the back end of your system. And it's just a few simple things, but a lot of times people just don't understand how to build it. So the only option they have, if they want a foreclosure follow-up or they want a seller follow-up, their only option is to pay the system whatever it is that they want. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Most people have a website like Carrot or whatever, and then they'll
Right.
have a separate system for some type of CRM. So, a lead comes in, right, through their website, whatever,
Right.
right? They have to grab that information, put it into their CRM, right?
Right.
And tell me
Well,
if I'm wrong on this, Seth. So this website or this system, they can, individual will contact you through through the website,
mhm.
right? And is there a way that would automatically link to my follow up or CRM, or how do I know that I
Right.
got a seller, trying to make contact with me?
Okay. I'll show that in just a moment.
Okay.
But so um, we were talking about Carrot and other website builders. Now here's the
Yep.
thing. Like I said, Carrot's great. It's nice. It looks really good. It's responsive. It's pre-built. Um, and the only real issue with it is that it only goes so far, right?
Right.
Well, any of these forms that we build, so when we have these forms, we have these builders, right? We can build any of these forms in, and we can literally come in and copy a code and drop the form in any website that you have. So you can literally use Carrot if you want to, and then just drop the code for our form in this or into Carrot, and it will automatically continue on the back end. So instead
Interesting.
of
Okay.
using their CRM system that goes so far and stops, like I said, there's certain abilities that Carrot has that's really nice. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're great at what they do. But
Mhm.
instead of it getting to a point where it stops, it will continue to populate in the back end of the system and then automatically start everything. Um, but you were talking about how do we know when someone puts their information in?
Yeah. Well,
Um,
let's do this. Let's do this.
yeah,
Instead, we'll go back to that. I'm gonna make a note of that.
yeah,
Give me 1 second and write that down. So let's just go ahead and just show some of the other features before we go to that.
okay.
Um,
Really, you were talking about automations. That's
yeah.
really, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
So I'll just show you this real quick,
Okay.
just as an example. So I said that every form is designated to a certain type of workflow. So whether they come to this website or they go to this landing page or however you have it set up, it will automatically start a certain workflow. So this is another templated website for, if you are doing sub two, it's something where you can turn around and, capture information for people that are interested in buying. But when they fill out this form, we're going to start the automation for thank you for joining our list. Here's, we need some more information, but I'll get to that right now. So as far as like the automations and stuff go, well, first off, when someone puts in a form, you'll automatically get a notification on your dashboard. And you'll see that there's a new lead that came in, where they came from, and you can really pin down kind of where they came from and what the setup is. So as far as that, this is just an example kind of person, but you see where it says seller here. I used it, was just testing it. So Adam West put in his information for seller, or he put his information in on just our basic website. So you see it tagged it right here. So we know where they're at. It did send them an automated email, but it was unsuccessful because we used a fake email. But you can see where they came through. You can see what website they came through. You can see what forms they submitted, when they did it, when the contact was created. And if you come over here, you can literally see every little information about, about them, where they came from, what tags they have acquired to them, what workflows that they're in currently. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much the setup of there. So you'll get that information that they filled that form out. Now, with the automations,
This is the awesome part right here.
Yeah, this is where the fun happens.
Yeah.
This is also all the headaches too, when you're building it, because you're like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so as far as the setup, we'll definitely have to cover that import. Take a note down on that so you don't forget about that, the
Okay.
import automation. But so you'll see here we've got quite a few. So foreclosure cold email.
Okay.
If they come in from, so if you, that's the one we're coming back to. So form submission, it'll automatically start following up with them. So if we click into it, you can see tag as warm lead, internal notification, and then it sends them an email. And
this is all automated internally.
Yeah. So basically, the very moment they fill out that form, it automatically starts sending stuff to them.
That's freaking awesome.
They get that email. It creates an opportunity on your dashboard, so you know that you've got that customer, and we can kind of show you that as well here in just a moment. But realtor workflows, some of these are very simple, because you don't have to stay in contact with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But they submit a form, or a contact gets added. So if they submit the form for a realtor, if we're going to gather information on realtors, or they fill out our form to join our list, we send them an email and says, thank you for joining our realtors list. And you get an internal notification. And so this is what you'll see. When you get that notification, it'll say their name, their company, their city, their state, and it'll tell you that they joined the realtors list. So no matter what happens on your system, you will literally know everything. Now we can have it send it to you on an email. We can have it send it to you on text. We can have it send it to you through just a notification on your dashboard. Like however you prefer to see this information, we can adjust that. So it really, like literally instantly, where everybody's at, what everybody's doing, and so it allows you to, and that's another thing. When it comes down to like these automations, really the biggest issue that a lot of investors face is they do get a lead in, and sometimes, investors are real hungry. Sometimes investors are just really busy, because especially when you're first starting out, most of the time you're not just a full-time investor.
Yep.
Most of the time you're an investor, and you got your regular work day. And so until 5:00, you can't respond. You know what I mean? But this one, they put that form in, it automatically sends them a message or an email, and you get a notification, and then you can follow up at your earliest possible convenience. Because what I've seen a lot of times, and especially working with a lot of investors like I have, the leads don't necessarily disappear. They don't necessarily get sold before you get to them. It's just that the full system, like the system that they're using, doesn't follow up, or it doesn't follow up efficiently. So they go, because it's the same thing. If you call a plumber, right? If they don't answer, or they don't get back to you, if they call you, or if you call one and you get a voicemail, you leave a voicemail.
Yep.
If 2 or 3 hours goes by and you haven't heard from them,
you go to the next one.
You're going to the next one.
Yep.
And a lot of times the patience of today is so minimal.
Yeah.
Like if I put something in your form, and I put my information on your website, and you don't get back with me like now, I'm going to go to the next one. And that's the way it works, is this, if you do not follow up with them. So with the way that this system's working, it puts your information in, or they put their information in, it sends them an email, says we'll get back with you. It notifies you. Okay. And then you tell the system, hey, we talked to them, right? And then, and only then, will it stop following up with them or alerting you. It'll tell you after a few days, hey, you need to make an offer. You need to contact this person. So the system will literally harass you. So as far as the automations, it's built for the lead as well as you keeping track of where everybody's at any time. And it will remind you. But
and here's the thing though, say you do forget about it, it doesn't matter because it's automatically going to send out either email or text how you
right.
set it up. So there's just no way of forgetting about it.
So if you and it's set up in the system in a way where initially, so if they call you and you get the chance to call them back and they don't answer, and you never move them to that next part of the pipeline where you've actually got in contact with them, it will stay on top of following up with them, and it will come as an email from you that says, "Hey, we got your information. We try to give you a call back to speak with you more. We're unable to reach you. When's a good time for a phone call?" And then after a day or two, it'll send them another email and another email. So basically, until you stop that follow up yourself, it'll stay on top of them. So if they send their information in, they miss your call, they're going to keep getting emails from you. So it's going to look as if you didn't reach them, and you're sending them an email every single day, or not every single day, but every few days, and be like, "Hey, we're still trying to reach you." So that shows you really care about that lead.
Yep.
And overall, everyone else that's jumped on this so far, really the biggest thing that a lot of people are getting from it that I'm hearing is it really just shows that they're like, it really improves their business image. As far as like the follow up, it's more the fact of, it's someone that truly cares about their business, and the image of the business as a whole improves a lot.
Yeah.
But
I mean, man, I probably talked to maybe 20 realtors in the past, month or so, right? 20 plus, and then for me, it's I have to constantly remember,
who it is?
who it is, where they're from, and things like that. It just, keeping that relationship with those realtors, because I'm sure a lot of them get, contact from other investors potentially. Then they
Right.
just forget about it, and then maybe they don't hear them for another year.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Just more professional to do that, I think.
so with the realtors, as you're talking, you talk to them. So you can put them in the back end of the system, or they can fill out their information. And this is once again templated, so you have to create it's something to be like you.
Another funnel, by the way, right here.
Yeah, this is another funnel. And also, like I said, you have unlimited websites, you have unlimited funnels, you have unlimited forms. A lot of times these systems will cap you off. They'll give you 2 websites, and then it's X amount of cost for this, and they'll give you 2 X amount of forms, and it's X amount of cost for this. And so Carrot is, I've seen that do that, and they'll build landing pages, but they'll build landing pages for $50 a page, and all they're doing is building this form.
It's crazy.
And changing the location. And very, very simple for you to do. But
so for example, Seth,
Mhm.
say I make a call with a realtor tomorrow, right?
Right.
So I just basically send them a link to this funnel, right?
Yeah.
Basically. So I was like, or what I can do is,
You can just put them in the back
send
end
them
of
an
your
email.
system yourself.
Yeah, send them an email with this, link. They'll
Mhm.
fill, after a conversation, they'll fill it out. It'll automatically send or be added to my realtor list.
Right.
Right. And like I said, once I do that, it's automatically, in the system, and it'll send out follow-up emails. Right.
Right. Right. So there's a few different ways. So if you do put out a website that has a link to this on it,
Okay.
that's a good way to do it. If you literally you put out on your page, on your social media page, you copy this link, you put on your social media page, like, "Hey, who's a realtor? Join our list. We may have properties that we need to reach out to and have you sell." Because when it comes down to it, one, it's improving your business because one, you have that strategy at hand, and you have somebody on hand that you can easily contact. And you can also turn around and vet people that join your list. So if you work with this person, they don't, you can move on to the next one if they don't perform well. Two, you're saying, "Hey, join my list, and I'm going to bring you business." So pretty much you don't even you're improving your business as well as improving their business.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. So I'm a photographer as well, and I've done it to where I've started a vendors list. So at any point in time, and literally I just advertise this, where I say, hey, join my vendors list. I may send you some clients, and people join. And so when I come up with a wedding or something like that, and I need to have a makeup artist, or they don't have one, or there's calls in sick, or whatever that may be, for some reason they can't make it, I literally go into the back end of my system here and I type in makeup artist, and it just populates, or hair, or just whatever that may be. And we've kind of done that same thing with contractors list on here too. However they put their stuff in the system, if they're a carpenter or they do windows or they do roofing, we can go back into the back end of our system at any point in time, type in roofer, and populate all of our roofers that we have in the system. And so we can do that and capture information on realtors, or we can capture information on contractors. So it's really really well rounded. Like, we're trying to cover everything and have everything all in one instead of go ahead.
For me, so I have credibility packets for different people, right? I got credibility packet for realtors, sellers, buyers, PML, or private money lenders, things like that. So what I'm going to actually add, once we get this funnels is created, I mean, it's already created, but once I get it up and running, I'm just going to add a QR code to the bottom of my credibility pack for realtors.
Right.
They can highlight it, and I'll automatically go to this funnel,
drop them to the page, they fill out their information.
Yep. And then they just right there, they'll input it right there. So that's how I would probably do it as well. I mean, also, like, send it by email if I want to. Just a lot of ways of sending this funnel out to anybody.
There's tons of ways. There's I mean,
you
could literally run an ad on Google that says looking for realtors. You know what I mean? And as long as your presentation's right, then you can fill out this form. Like, you can literally deliver it any way that you want to. You can drop it in socials, on a website, forums. You can literally go into random meetings, you can literally go into random meetings with realtors, those mastermind groups.
Meetups.
You literally just be like, hey, I'm an investor. I'm trying to gather a list of realtors to sell properties. Who wants to join? And drop the link, and you can gather stuff up rapidly like that. And you can literally deliver it any way that you want it to. Like the contractor sign up, it's kind of that same thing. You get somebody on a list. You can
about to bring that up.
Yeah. It's very, like I said, it's simple. You create it to build it how you want, but like I said, this fits everybody. And they put in their name, they put in the type of contractor they are, they put it in the back, and it goes automatically with the back end of our system. They automatically get an email that says, hey, thanks for joining our list. We may, keep in contact with us because we may send out jobs to you. So the cool thing about that is, if you have a house, if you are doing rehabs, if you are doing anything that requires contractors, so if that's your exit strategy as far as rehab, stuff like that, we can literally come in, and so we can go, okay, we need a roof, we need this, and we need this. So flooring, roof, windows, and HVAC. And I can literally come in and highlight and come over to our contacts, and then all I got to do is type in HVAC, and no one's in there right now. Because it's, like I said, it's a demo system, but I type in HVAC, and it brings up everybody that's in it. Yeah. Or I type in Windows, and it brings up everybody, or roofers, and it brings up everybody. So I can literally highlight everybody, and then blast them a text message or blast them an email. So I can say, hey, I've got this house, this many square foot, I need new flooring throughout it. Who wants to give me quotes? Yep. And we can literally drop it to every contractor that's a flooring, and we can, depending on how big your list is, if you've got 15 different people on your list, you can drop one email for one property to 15 different people all at once and see what their kind of quote systems are going to look like, and instead of reaching out to them all individually.
Dude, that's really, really powerful, because, so I've done, multiple rehabs before. When you're trying to get all your contractors lined up, I have to go to my phone, right? Or, and say, highlight HVAC, right? And it'll come up in my list on my phone. This is like way faster and way easier. right? So you literally put the keyword HVAC, populates all the contacts you have for HVAC. You send a text or email blast to all those, right? It's just like quick.
Well,
You can do a lot faster, should I say.
another thing is, one, it lowers the amount of time that you're spending on that project. Two, it's allowing you to shop for the best price rapidly. So, if you work with a few different people, and you come back and you send out to 15 people, 7 of them get back to you, 3 of them have the best prices. You can call, vet, and work with those 3 people versus, but then again, you never know, because there's someone that you didn't contact because you didn't have enough time that's $3,000 cheaper, and $3,000 will be a massive difference in your back end profit when it comes to investing. Sometimes $3,000 will make or break that deal for you. So this really, there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes into this, as far as a thought process, as far as, reaching out, why we reach out, and why we're trying to make that something that's really accessible. Instead of it just being a digital phone book, it actually serves a purpose.
So so let's think about this, guys. I mean, so we lock up a deal, right? It's closing, but now we gotta, like I said, we gotta find contractors, right? So we'll do keywords on all the contractors we need for the job, right? Then we're probably gonna need some private money lenders for the rehab itself, right? So same thing, you build a funnel for private money lenders, and you should already have a bunch potentially in here, right? So you send an email blast to those guys.
If you do have a list of people, then you can import a mass list and tag them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you do subcontractors, you can do for PM, send out to the PMLs through here, private money lenders, like I said, cash buyers, your buyers, right? You're eventually going to have to sell it. So you can, send it to them, right? It's a wholesale deal. You said, you have your list of cash buyers.
So right? You, with your cash buyers, we've got it built into the system. So this is, kind of the same thing.
Funnel. Just another funnel that you
send.
Yep.
And it says, hey, you're looking for newly acquired properties or so. We specialize in finding and locating properties. We first know about them. Furthermore, save time and effort providing properties right to your inbox. So they sign up as a cash buyer. So if you do a lot of wholesale, you no longer have to. If you do pick up a property, instead of blasting it out there by going to meetings and networking, and that's something you should be doing either way, but instead of dealing with all this stuff, once they put their information in on the back end of the system, you have them tagged, so you can come over to your emails. That's another thing. It does mass emails, so it replaces stuff like MailChimp. It's all included. So they instantly get an email that says, hey, thanks for joining our list. And then on top of that, so cash buyer new property, you can come in, you simply just replace the information in the system. So you come over here and you can type in whatever you want to do. You just replace it. How many bed, how many bath, you drop your pictures, you drop your property description. If you want to do pictures, you can keep it as simple as you want. You can make it as detailed as you want. And then you can literally go to your contacts, type in cash buyers, and it will populate everybody that's on your cash buyers list. And then when you send an email,
you select all or individually select them.
Yep. You select a template. You can come down, cash buyer, new property available, and you just blast it to everybody in your list. And so if they respond or they call you, you can, if you got a cash buyers list across the nation that's 700 people, think about how rapid fast you're going to sell that property, because you're dropping this in everybody's inbox all at once. So once you do that, you click send, you walk away from it, and then you come back to people interested in your properties.
Yeah. And then, like I said, you can automate it where it resends it, every week.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it every day if you really want to, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want,
whatever how you want to set it up as.
Yeah, I mean, you can build out any type of automation that you want to, and if for some reason, if you do have a property, so this one is set up where it's just one property at a time, because there's really not a lot of, when wholesalers, unless they're doing mass volumes, they never really have a lot of stuff going on. They get a house a few weeks later, they get a house.
Yeah.
But if you need to, say you need to send out 2 or 3 different properties all at once, you've already got this here. So we'll come in and literally make a copy. And then house 2. And you can set them all up individually. So you can have a house 1, house 2, and you can send them all out. So you can have 15, 20 properties if you want to. And then you can set out, and so if you do come in and you do want to set that out, we can build out an automation where it will reach out to them as long as you want to. Send the texts and the emails, whatever that may be.
And the cool thing is you can set it up. I mean, you don't need Seth to do this for you. I mean, obviously he's going to help you through it, the process initially, maybe a couple times. But over time, you're going to get so used to this software that you can just create, whatever, the schedule.
Right. It's really drag and drop and easy. Yeah. I mean, it's very, very, very confusing at first when you're looking at something like this, because it's just a lot of information. It's text-based, you don't visually see what it's doing. Yeah. But it's one of those things, like as you kind of read along and you kind of put it together, you'll see where everything comes. And also any type of automation that you run, there is a test fire button to where you can literally drop somebody in it, run a test, and see how it operates within that system.
That's awesome. Awesome. But cool, man. So that's kind of so that's a website. We talked about different funnels, how to create different groups of people, right? So like PMLs, cash buyers, contractors.
Right.
And we talked about the automation on that side. What else here? There's so many good stuff, by the way.
Dude, we've talked about a small percentage of what it's capable of. You can literally set it up for anything. Like I said, we're setting up a good template for investors, but you can set up, if you've got a secondary business, you can run it for that too. But any of these things.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit here. What about the calendar setup?
Calendar. Okay. So we'll and so I'll just run through this because I opened it up.
Okay, yeah,
sure. The calendars. But as far as your workflows and everything, it's very simple. It pretty much tells you what it is. You set up a form submitted, and then you pretty much just tell it the form is contractors, and you can come down, and then we want to send a text message. We can literally type the text message. You click save action. I mean, it's literally that quick, drag and drop simple. And you can just name it. And you're good to go. So it's very, very, very quick and simple. And then I'll delete that because it's just an example there. But literally, you can have it if they come into a form, if they're added as a contact, there's a contact tags added. So if you import people into the system, that's actually a good thing to cover real quick before we forget about it. So if you buy an absentee list, and then you run them through processes as far as what's the word? I forgot. Where you run them through the process to find
skip tracing.
There we go. Yep. Yeah. So if you run like skip tracing stuff and you get emails or you get phone numbers, and you have a whole absentee list, or you skip trace driving for dollars list, or whatever you want to do, or you have a foreclosure list that you purchase. A lot of times that people do that purchase foreclosure list, or they scout the foreclosures for themselves and then kind of add that to the list, and they skip trace them and narrow them down. If you import a mass amount of list into that system, you have a tagging option to it'll say what tags are. You can literally say foreclosure or absentee or whatever, and it will start a full 90-day automation to follow up with those people via cold email. And And you can build that out for the next 3 years. You can drop it to 15 days, whatever you prefer. And we'll follow up with every single person. And if you import them as foreclosure, everything hits home with foreclosure. Like, hey, time's running out. Don't let the bank take your home. We can help you save it. This, that, whatever. If it's absentee, be like, hey, you notice that this is an absentee owner. This, that, whatever. I'm interested in buying it. Are you interested in selling? So depending on how you import them in that list or how they come to you initially, everything is very focused in on that person, their situation. So you're not throwing general content at them.
Yeah.
But that was just another cool little thing there.
So say we say we buy a say 1,000 lead list, right?
Mm-hmm.
We buy it. Okay, it comes in like a spreadsheet, whatever, right? So obviously we would have to manually input that information for each of those in here.
No.
Okay.
So, if you have that information, so you have a CSV file, and
okay.
Sorry, 2-year-old. So you have a CSV file, and that's the way you're going to get it. So basically, if you have an export file, if you're going to purchase lists, they're going to send you a CSV type format, so you can open it in like Word and Excel and all that stuff.
Yep.
We're going to take that same file and click Import Contacts, and then we just upload that file in the back end. I don't really have anything that I want to load in because it's a bunch of personal information from other investors. But you have that where you can drop it in, and then you have where you can put them in the back end of the system. You tell the mapping, so you can say this is their property address, this is their name, this is their phone number, this is their email, and you just tell it what settings there are, or basically you tell it what it shows. It'll say Arnie at Ohan, and it'll say your email address, and then on the side you just say email, so it knows exactly what you're putting in the system and what to attribute it to. And then on the tagging, you literally just tag it as this or tag it as that, and so that's what starts those automations. Once again, sorry, I have a 2-year-old, so he's gonna cry.
Oh my gosh! So I can get 1,000 lead lists, export that in, or import it in, right?
Yeah.
And then it'll just I don't have to manually each person. It'll automatically put it into the system, the 1,000 people, whatever, and then you can basically literally start doing your automation from there, right? Start a workflow.
Right. I mean, you literally you sit back and you just wait for them to come in, unless you want to attack one, specifically.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, for an example, as far as a success story with the system, it's actually happened with the very first person that ever joined this system. And she does wholesale. When I say she does wholesale, it's not real estate wholesale, it's product wholesale. But her thing was she had troubles gathering reviews and stuff like that. So she's a profitable business. She's a reputable business. She's, she has an awesome product. But the problem is, and that's another thing with reviews, like Google, as far as ranking, it's one of those things that will improve your visibility based on the amount of reviews that you have. So if you've got 3 reviews and you have an amazing product, then you're down here on the list. If you have 700 reviews and you have a subpar, awful product, you're still above, because it's just the way. It's basically a reliability thing. So Google's not showing and sharing your information when you're not vetted through them, and how they vet is based on the content you post, how often you post, what reviews you have. A lot of that data gets tracked, and that's what organically starts to rank you. Where with her, we literally, I told her first thing to do, go to her Google pages, or go to her Google or wherever she gets emails with and all this other information. So all of her customers and all of her clients she's had. So if she's got a POS system through Square or Stripe or, whatever that is, take all of your customers that's purchased from you and export that list. So she exported that list. We imported it into the back end of the system. We clicked it and we sent out. So you see right here, there's a few different options. I got sidetracked. I was like, oh, I can show all this.
Hey, give me 1 second, Seth. Okay, give me 1 second. Right, be right back.
So I don't know how long he's going to be, but we got a few simple, quick changes here. We can quickly add people to workflows. We can send them out messages. We can send out mass emails, add tags, remove tags, delete the contacts overall, import, export, send review request. There's a bunch of really cool, quick buttons that help you manage. So I guess he'll be back in just a second, and then we'll kind of continue there. Hey, you're back. Okay, so
Sorry about that. I was doing a pee-pee dance there.
oh yeah, nice.
Anyways,
But yeah, as far as that whole thing, I while you were gone, I just kind of showed the basic things up here as far as the add-ins, the ads, little quick buttons. But as far as her, we literally anyone she's ever done business with, so you can do this yourself. So if you've ever closed a client, so if you have emails back and forth with somebody that you closed a house on or whatever that may be, you can literally come in, add them to a list, and click that whole list and click out send reviews. She did that with 1,200 people, and overnight went from like 3 reviews to like almost 50
wow.
because the system takes care of it, and it literally drops them a review request that's already made. You don't have to ask for it.
Cool,
It
man.
literally drops an email. They click a button and they go, "Yeah, it was great working with Arnie."
And if I remember right, it once they do a review, it automatically obviously update to their Google Business page,
yes,
right? And then obviously it's going to update in the system as well.
yes, and we have a full reputation set up too. So at any point in time, you can see how many people you've invited, what reviews you've received, positive, negative, see your review trends, So as an investor, that's one thing, but like if you do any other business, you got August, September, and everything's great, and then October you got a 2-star. You can really come down and figure out, okay, what did I do in October that was different? So you can make a more informed decision there. But as far as your reviews, they'll all populate right here. We don't have anything, once again, with this being a template, but it'll populate right here. You can respond directly back to your reviews right there off this dashboard. Makes it very, very simple.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, we never covered the conversations tab. There's so many things, dude. There's so many things.
This is the blogging, the conversations. Is that what that is?
The blogging? Oh, as far as okay, so
was it different?
This one. So as far as the conversations goes, so you're going to start out with this Launchpad. Makes it very, very quick and simple. Literally, you've got Facebook, Google My Business. You click it. It says, hey, give permissions for this to work seamlessly. You click got it. And I'm not going to do that, but you connect, you literally sign into your Facebook. And if you have emails that go out back in the system, if you have text messages that go out of the system or something like that, no matter what it is. So I'll show you an example here. So this is that one customer I was telling you about. So conversation. So these are all reviews that she just overall, quickly got. I'm trying not to show too much, but you see all of these. These are all information. Like I said, I don't want to show too much of her personal information, but those, whether they come in through Google My Business, they come in through an email, they come in through a text message, they come in through Facebook, whatever your social channels are that are connected. If you get somebody, so if somebody does find you on Google, they type in something, they find you on Google, and they send you a message through Google My Business platform, which a lot of people do, it'll instantly populate in the back end of the system, drop you a notification to your dashboard, and also send a notification to your phone and say new message from. The cool thing is, anybody within the system, you can create, you can send back through this system, so you don't have to reply back to it. Now we can set it up to where if you want to do like a personal email that you want to put in the back end of the system to get everything to, we can have it send it to your regular Gmail, and we can have it send it here, or we can have it send just to here, or we can set that up however you prefer. So as far as contacts, I'll show you. So, here's our contact form. Kind of the same thing. So when you get conversations, you can literally say SMS or email, and it's not going to show what it is, but you click send now, and basically it'll pop up and populate in your conversations tab. So their conversations tab, all the information. You see what workflows they're in, what automations they're going through.
So for me as an investor, how is the conversation tab beneficial for me?
So at this point, I wish I had a little more to show you as far as the setup. So you have their information, you have their emails, where that customer's at. If you need to book an appointment, and this is where we were talking about calendars, you can quickly come in and book an appointment. We got it set up as a closing calendar. So if we want to set our date, so we talk with this person, right? And we're going to close with them on this set date. We can come in, we can select our date, and we can select our time that we're going to be at the closing company. And then,
Yeah, so I don't ever have to go to Gmail, my
right.
Google account. I can do all that through this.
Yep. So it says appointment booked. And you can come over to your calendars, and we have all of our appointments here. It'll send them emails, so that they'll know that we're closing on that day. We can reschedule it. We can show it's canceled. We can do no show. We didn't mean to make it. We just, click delete. But if we need to reschedule it, so if something happens, I've had it to where the person that's closing ends up being sick, they can't make it. Let's reschedule it, and you just come in, and you can just change the day.
So say on my current business card, right? I've got a QR code that goes to my website.
Right.
So there's got to be a way where they can go to a contact funnel or something, or say that's trying to meet somebody brand new at RIA, right?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, here's my business card. Here's a QR code. They scan it. It'll populate, or it'll go to a funnel. They can input their information, and maybe you could put fields in there saying, are you a sub-2 student? Are you part of the RIA? Blah, blah, blah. So later on, I can tag in future, say I want to have a meetup with people in the RIA for some reason.
Right.
I could just go keyword, go RIA, and it'll populate because they click that field on that contact sheet, right?
Right.
And I could just send an email blast to them or send a conversation, right? Go through my conversation potentially.
Yeah. So really any way that you want to, as long as you tag that customer in any point in time, if you tag that customer as anything specific. So, if you come in here and I'm talking to this person and he ends up being, so right now he's a seller. Yeah. But say I want to come in and, if I come down the list, I want to add him. So foreclosure warm lead. We find out that we're good to go there. Now I have him in the back end of my system. So, that's just one of the system or one of the setups, and if I do, so we'll do a few different options, and, not all of these will be filled out for everybody. So if I come over to contacts and I type in HVAC, I didn't tag him because I didn't tag him. I just clicked it. But so if I type in foreclosure, it'll pop him up. So if you want to do, so if somebody comes in through that form, so I'll show you another example here. So this is what the user input changed or put in, but you type in HVAC, you tag them as that. In the future, no matter what it is, if you come over to your contacts tab and type it in, and nothing's going to change because, we've only got one person in there, but it'll populate them. So if you want to do one for different areas or different types of people that you talk to, if you want to tag them as a certain thing, a sub-2 student, you want to tag them as, a certain type of investor, no matter how you want to tag them, you can quickly populate that list in the future. And then you can build out automations. We were talking about with your business card, you can send them to a funnel. And we also have a few things set up to where if you have information that you want to put in yourself, so if you're talking with somebody, so let's do this. If we've got, say you're talking to somebody, you meet somebody and they're like, actually, yeah, I do have a house, I want to sell it, this, that, whatever, and you need to get their information. Most of the time you take their phone number down, or you give them a business card, or you write it on a notepad or something like that. You just don't have anything, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you get back to your house and you're looking for that piece of paper. You're looking, you can't remember their name or something in your phone. You can literally come down and you can make this quick on your phone. You can just drop this on your home screen. You can put it on your computer desktop, but it's just a shortcut. And where it says input user seller form, or user input, some of these will actually say easy form. So right here, we're going to put that same information. It says easy seller input form right here. You can very quickly load that form up, put their information in, capture that information, and it's the back end of your system. So when you get home, you come over to your contacts and it'll be right there populated for you. Yeah. And you can add them to a workflow if you want to. You can carry out conversation or business however you'd like to do that.
Very cool. Very cool, man.
Dude, there's so many things and so many abilities.
You can customize it whatever how you want it, really, at the end of the day. But that's why it's not this software is not tailored for investors per se. It's tailored for small business. So you can do whatever you want to it, right? For your business.
Right. And as far as like those emails and stuff that are going out, so this is just so people can kind of see what it comes with as far as like the type of email. So we've got this one, and it says initial day because it's a setup, but basically it'll automatically populate their information. But it says my name is, put your name in there. I'm located in, put your state in there. I was looking for properties in, puts their information in. Ran across your property or located at, puts their address in. Interested in seeing if you're looking to sell the property, so I'd like to make you an offer. We don't use realtors. We can close on your timeline. If this would be something you'd be interested in, give me a call. Put your phone number in there, drop us an email. We can discuss this further. Thank you for your time. And it will go and follow up with them for 90 days so far, with relative emails, tailored to that type of seller. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like the visual aspect of that workflow, by the way.
You can kind of see how it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another thing we didn't really. So say you send out this email and they respond to you via email. If they respond, it will send you, it says seller replied, please review email and contact lead. It drops their information, their email, their address, and their phone number, and stops the workflow.
Mm-hmm.
So if they respond, you've got that information from them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you can instantly reply back to them the very second you get a chance. So we won't hound them if they do respond to us. So that's going to cut out two things. One, if they do respond to our emails, we're not going to keep sending them, hey, are you, this, that, whatever, unless we want to, where we can put them back in that list. And two, if they reply back with something negative, like leave me alone, I'm not selling you anything, then we're, we cut ties there. And then another thing, as far as you were talking about the visual aspect of this, like I said, I try not to show too many things here. But as we kind of come down this list, you see this number here, it says number 4.
Yeah.
If you kind of come down the list further, you'll see that there's more. Now, I guess they got through all their workflows, but you see more here. At any point in time, you'll see where everybody is as far as all of your leads. You'll see where they're at and what workflows, and you can have their information. You can move them to the next workflow. You can remove them from the next workflow. You can, I got so much stuff going on. You can click in and then follow that person. So if you click into this information, you can really see all the
You see the bigger
information.
picture. You're literally seeing a bigger picture overall.
Right.
So like I can create a 1,000 lead list and see where all those 1,000 leads are at.
Right. And then you can literally click on status and see what happened. So we know that we sent an email on the 16th. We waited a day. The wait finished. It says, did the subject reply? No. So it sent out another email. Did they reply? Wait, finish? No. We sent out another email. So we know that they're on email 3 of a full 5 email system that will that is following up with them. So we know where they're at. And we can see what day the action was taken, when the email was sent out, if it failed, what their response was, what they did, where the email went. And like I said, if you need to reach out to this person, you can literally click in and go into their information. Yeah, it's super convenient because you literally know where everybody and every lead is at any point in time.
Man, this is so freaking cool, man.
Like, dude, everyone goes, okay, so what does it do? And it's so hard for me to explain to them because it's really, it does everything, whatever your business is designed for. If you want to use it, great. If you don't want to use it, this system grows with you. So when I say it grows with you, if you need it to do more in the future, you can start using things. Like right now, if you want to use contacts and opportunities, so our opportunities, we've got dashboards. So, Adam West filled out that information. We have their information here. Filled out form, warm. So you start talking to them, you get in contact with them. There you go. We just move them over. We contacted. And then this will automatically start pestering you to make an offer for this property, whether ditch it or not. When you do that, you move it over into offer made, keep contact. So you know where they're at. Now, here's the cool thing about the automation, and this is something that we've got built currently that will also come with your template. And it doesn't cost anything extra to have any of these things. Like once you get the back end of the system, everything comes with it. So if you're an investor, everything you're seeing or some variation with it, you will get. So once you move them over into contract sign, you're going to be it's going to automatically start another automation. Okay. And what that's going to do is that is going to send you a notification, the owner of this, the owner of the location here. It's going to say, okay, follow or send property to cash buyers if applicable. So it tells you, hey, this is your next step. When it says closing date scheduled, you can turn around and it literally starts everything and it notifies you. So if a lead goes cold or a lead goes stale, it'll tell you, hey, so 90 days from now, if nothing happens with this property and it's been in the form forever, 90 days from now, if they don't convert on their own, it'll literally drop you their information and it'll say, this person, here's their phone, here's their email, here's the address we're talking about. It went stale. They never replied. What do you want to do with it? So it tells you to contact that person again. Because you were saying before, sometimes it takes you a few months to get it. So it follows up with them for 90 days. It notifies you and asks you what you want to do with that person. Now you can either drop them back into a workflow where it continues following up with them, or you can try to call them, and it's entirely up to you with how you do business. But you put somebody in that system and it is not going to let you forget about them until you move them. Mm-hmm. But once you get it done and you say you did this closing, you can move them over, and we're still kind of designing how this is going to work most efficiently for everybody, but it'll automatically send them, when you say you want it, it'll automatically send them reviews. So the very moment that you say you won this, it connects with the reviews.
So if I move it over to the I move it over to ask for review. It's automatically going to send out a request for review.
Yes. Yes.
So what if I move it back and forth like that? How does that work?
Well,
What
you
if I
could
accidentally?
move them back.
Okay.
So I will say, depending on where you move them to, um, you might get notifications. So there's no outgoing there's no outgoing automations, um, other than seller filled out form. But what I will say is the way it's set up, if they come in to the automation, or if they come in and fill out their form, it'll send them on that automation. Now, if you move them over back to seller filled out form warm, it will not start that automation unless you tell it to start that automation.
Okay, good. Because yeah, okay,
So,
cool.
they go stale again, you can't get a hold of them, you want to put them back in that automation, you move them back over, you click their deal, and you literally come down to workflows and you just add them. So it shows you where they've been, but you can just add them into whatever workflow you'd like them to be in. Um, and then when you come back over, um, it's all right there. So we're talking about with it connecting with QuickBooks and all that other stuff. Um, if you've got contractors and you need to pay them, you can pay them through here. It's integrated with Stripe. You can send out invoices for things if you're doing any type of invoicing. But another deal is, if you click in here, you'll see here where it says lead value, right? So if that your lead value, if you know that you've got a buyer and you're going to sell it you're going to buy it for this, you're going to sell it for that, and you know that your lead value is $7,000, and that's what you got, right? That's what you know that you're going to make when this closes. It'll update the back end of the system here. So on your dashboard, you'll see that your pipeline value, everybody that you have in your system, and however much money you're going to make on that sale will populate. So you'll know, with everything you've got on the table, you have $4,000 or $20,000 on the table ready to close. Once you close, it will drop the pipeline value and then move it to 1. So it'll show, how much you've made and how much you've won versus lost. So if something gets dropped, say for an example, something happens, they decide last minute, I can't buy it, and then you end up just giving the property back to them, or however that works out, you can move them to 1 or to lost if you'd like, if you're not going to mess with the property again, and it shows that didn't convert. So you can really see everybody's setup and kind of see how much value you have in each property you have moving forward. And this one's kind of set up. So she's got 66 opportunities. Right now it just shows $11 because basically her values are designed a certain way so it looks funny. But
Yeah.
you can see where it shows who everybody is, how many people are in what pipeline, what's been won, what's been lost. This is another cool thing. Talking about showing your system and everything. So you're connected with Google and you're connected with Google Analytics. When you connect it, it will show you your interactions taken on Google My Business. It'll show you how many views you've had organically, how many searches you've had, direct, indirect, how many actions were taken, how many calls were made to your Google My Business listing. It shows you for the last 12 months, and you can see here, so we didn't have the system connected, and this is where it connects. And it will show you, your direct views versus your organic views. And so her organic views have gone up consistently. December was a slow because, it's season, but we're not even anywhere near, we're, almost near the end of the month, and we've just about reached, where we need to. But it shows you the full system of everything. Also, if you're running any type of ads, you've got all your information, your cost per click, your conversion rates, your client spends, like how much money you've spent, impressions, clicks, everything. So your cost per click, your return on investment, your revenue, your costs, everything, what's running, what's active. You can do that for Facebook. You can do that for Google. You've got conversion reports, literally, everybody and where everybody's at. Like,
It's
dude,
amazing.
there's so many things that it does, but it's really overwhelming at first because, like I said, you don't really. There's so many things that it does, but really, it's one of those things. Start small, get it going, and you can see a return instantly, and pretty much, you can grow into all this thing the system offers. But where this offers that benefit is we don't cap you out at you can do this and this and this, and it costs more for this and this, and it costs more for this and this. You pretty much you get it. It's yours. You do what you want. You can build a million landing pages. You can. There's never going to be any upsells, unless you know want to hire us to build out a full automation for your system or something like that. But
Yeah.
I mean,
But it
it's
has everything in there to start.
yeah. And as you grow and you become an absolute powerhouse, you can start applying different things. You can sell online courses through it. You can sell
Yeah.
memberships. You can do reoccurring payments for, I mean, literally anything and everything that any small business could use is in the back end of the system. We still only scraped the surface, and that's just for investors. So as other businesses as well, we can literally change and build a business to where this saves you time, it saves you money, it saves you, if you have anybody that's employed, it gives them a full basis to start with to really ramp your business, ramp it rapidly. You get to see everything that happens, when it happens, who took that action. You get a good overhead view of your entire business, and you can make informed decisions going forward about how you want to run it and what changes need to be made.
So let's talk about this. We talked a little bit about this. Let's talk about employees, right? So say we, investor hires a VA, right, to cold call. Say we hire somebody to do door knocking, or say we hire somebody to put out bandit signs and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, right? And we want to see their status, what they
Right.
did, right? We don't want to give them total access to everything we have, right? Obviously, but we do want to give them access to certain things. How do we
Right.
do that to this software?
Oh, yeah. So you're going to come over to staff, and right now it's just me. But you have the staff, and you can quickly make somebody. So user info. If I want to make you one, I can put your email in, put your phone number in, and then pretty much it'll just send you a sign on, to where you are a user on the back end of that system. You have your own sign up, you have your own information, and what that's going to do is if anybody changes a form, if anybody exports data, no matter what actions they take in on the back end of the system. So what we're going to do, so you're starting with a VA and a cold call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we can create a form designed to pretty much, we create that form for a certain person. Makes it very simple. It's a very simple process. But we create a form, we assign it to somebody, right? So we know that we can tag somebody as, that VA.
Okay.
So when we assign it to them, we know day by day how many calls were made or what actions they took. So as they make the phone calls, pretty much they're going to come over, what I was saying earlier, where you just a very quick information capture form. We can come in and we have this funnel, easy seller input, where they put their information in, and we can design this in any way that you want. So we'll finish this form, and then it'll run to the more information form, so we can capture all the information that you need. Asking price, bed, bath, all this other stuff. If this information form gets filled out, we tag it immediately as that VA's name or whatever type of code or anything that you want. And you can really kind of view and visually see what that VA did that day. You can come in and figure out how many new calls were made, how many different leads and stuff were put in the system. And as far as like the setting of it, you can create, you can do user permissions. So you can have them where they can't do campaigns, they can't touch any of this stuff. They can do contacts, they can't adjust settings, they can add tags, but you can really come in and really set up every individual little thing where they have access to only what you want them to. With the root user roles, you can change, what access you want them to. Like, you can literally customize. Now, if they're doing, calls for you, you can have a calendar set up where it'll connect with Zoom. It does have a Zoom integration. So if you do a lot of business over Zoom for some reason, or you do through Google Meet, you can connect it in with your Zoom account, and actually have a full customer service, or however you want to do it. You tell them whatever calendar that they want, what it cross-references, so you can have it cross-reference another calendar in your system so you don't double book. Or, literally, you can make it do anything you want it to. So you can
have,
see everything.
It's, some big investors have like 3 or 4 VAs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can basically set up appointments with their VAs, through here.
Right. And the VA can make appointments for you and put it in your calendar.
True, that too. Yep.
Like I have somebody else that's on the system that where literally she never had time to do anything other than live to work her business. And she calls me one day and talks about how amazing it is, because she goes, I just took the week off. And I said, okay. She's like, do you know how awesome that is? And I said, well, yeah. And she goes, I couldn't do that before. And what she was telling me is, she told me that she could literally sit at home, load up this system, and she could just watch her conversations, and she could watch her contacts grow, and she could see who put who in the system. So when you click into it,
you're talking about her employees, right?
Yeah. When you click into it, it tells you who put them in the system. And you can really see everything about them. So she could sit back and see that her employees were making phone calls and creating those connections with businesses. So instead of staying over there and making sure they're making calls, she just sits back and she's like, hey, you're supposed to be calling from 11 to 2 today, and you got 2 in this system over 3 hours. Why?
Wow.
That's another thing. If you're making notes, or if you're talking to somebody, say I'm talking to this person, back and forth with emails, and I want to take this and I want to copy this, I can hit copy. I can do a note. Okay, Kennedy, I'll be in there in just a moment. Okay. You can literally come in, drop a note, and then, oh, Kennedy, it's a cat. I'll be in there in just a minute. Sorry. 119.23 at 5:02. We've made a note, so you can literally keep notes on every person, everything they've done. So on top of the system keeping notes on every action that person's made, what workflows they're in, what tags they have, you can personally make notes on that customer as well. So if you do talk with somebody that you hadn't talked to once,
this is something that the VA would do, right? They'll go in there and they'll take notes.
Yeah. So if we're talking to this person and then she wants, they want to add another note, not ready to sell yet. No. And not ready to sell yet, January 19, 2023. So you can turn around and you can build out an automation. So whatever fits your business, it says not ready to sell yet. And then you can put them in a workflow where 30 days from now, it'll start them in a workflow. And it'll start telling them, hey, you interested in selling now? Are you still looking to sell? So however you run your business and whatever issues that you face, we can build something for it to where you can literally just apply it. So they're not ready to sell yet, but they come down here and they just add the workflow, and it says, 60-day follow-up that will automatically send them something 60 days from now.
I got a question. So say, I hire a VA, right? And I would instruct them, I say, no matter what, put a note in there, whatever it is, the conversation. But say I would like to hear the conversation as well. I like just pick 2 or 3 callers and listen to it. Is there a way that they can record a conversation and then upload that conversation in here somehow?
So currently, we're still working on setting all of that into the system, because that involves integrations with phone systems and and tons of different things. There are settings in here. We run through Twilio, Now, if you use, so Twilio is the first one we have available, and the goal is to build out to where it suits everything. It's just at the moment, a lot of these bigger, like much bigger companies, are like, to get on with those systems is insane. The amount of money that goes into it and everything. But as far as numbers and such, okay, make it bigger where I can actually see. So conversations, or not conversations, I'm sorry. What is going on with my system here? There we go. So you can do phone integrations and stuff. It's just, so you'll have like phone numbers. That's where you can send out, your text messages. You can have number pools. If you are open to use Twilio at this moment, then yes, you can run that through like your Twilio and your dashboard and everything. Okay. It's just currently on hand in the back end of the system. It's really one of the only things that it doesn't truly technically offer.
Okay.
So,
well, there's I was just thinking maybe in the future we can maybe that's something we can eventually add, or
so if you do have that number though, we can send out mass text and everything through it.
Yeah.
So phone numbers are very simple to get. So we do have a communications platform. So area code, you literally type in your code, your area code, and it'll drop you one, and it's like $1.15. So overall, the cost to own the number through the system is cheaper. So that is kind of one of the offsets of not having the availability to use a bigger system. But you can literally come through, choose any number, use that, and that's where we send it out
awesome.
through.
Isn't it CallRail similar to that, right? You can get different numbers for your business and all that.
Yeah. So if you wanted to put one on, if you wanted to do reports and stuff as far as like how many phone numbers came in. So if you're doing letters and you're doing signs, and you're doing this, you can assign
that phone number with that.
Yeah.
That whatever that is,
right.
Letters or bandit signs, things like that.
Right. Yep. So it is part of the system. It's just it's not fully, because like I said, it's one of those things where getting in with those systems now, they're so big, that it's just one of those things that as we start to gather a little more traction and kind of get more people on it and stuff, and the demand rises, then it'll be a valuable, something valuable to do.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just trying to add stuff in the future maybe, but for now, this is everything that I would need to run my real estate business.
Oh yeah. And just starting out, like literally it's everything. Because if you break it down, I think we covered this earlier, but if we break it down, your conversations tab, that's honestly worth it to a lot of people, just itself. But your calendars, like I said, Calendly, a lot of people use Calendly. It's very confusing. And it's getting it to connect and integrate with this and connect with this website and all this other stuff. You've got so many different things. So you've got your Facebook, and we were talking about the marketing and stuff. There's your social planner right there. You can connect it in and send it all out. But I'm saying when you connect it with everything, you're connecting it with all these different locations. You're setting up your calendars and something. Your social manager's one. Your CRM and automation system is one. Your payments is one. Your websites and your website hosting is one. And then like you got ClickFunnels, which is like $197 a month. And that's just one thing. And there are APIs and there's connection points that you can create, and you can create zaps to make them talk back and forth. But sometimes they don't connect. They don't work right. Or you purchase a system that, like, for an example, Calendly connects with everything, but there's a million other, like TidyCal is out there. There's a million other companies out there that do things just like Calendly that do it better. But the problem is that it just doesn't, they don't have the connections in the back end or the capabilities. They're a smaller company. They're not able to connect with everything. So you run into issues to where you can only buy this one or you can only buy that one. Where with this, it's all inclusive. It's all in one. So no matter what you do, if you build a calendar, you can seamlessly drop it into any other part of the system. You can drop a link to your calendar. You can do whatever you want. You can do forms. You can drop them wherever you want. Like no matter what it is, everything is all inclusive in here. So instead of going to these different locations for your funnels and your websites and your this and your that, um, any action you take at any point in the system connects and integrates and works with every other part of the system. So we can really narrow down the amount of time spent on your social media. And honestly, like your social media and your lead generation, which is what honestly everybody struggles with. No one knows where to get that information or where to start, you know. And
So,
then,
so
yeah, and then
yeah,
you got
so
to.
I just want to make sure though. So
Yeah.
the calendars, I can link it for sure to my Google calendars because
Yeah.
that's what I use normally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just
I've
people.
got mine set up in a way where it connects with my Google Calendar.
Okay.
So I've got my schedule set up to where, and this is a great thing, and this is another kind of plus that I ended up with by doing this, is it connects with your Google Calendar. So um, my wife has access to my Google Calendar, right? So they talk back and forth and they sync. So when she wants to do something, she wants family time, she wants to do something on a certain day, she goes into Google or she goes into my calendar, she blocks out that day and says we're doing family things this day, and then it automatically blocks out my calendar for that day. So nobody can book a call with me, nobody can. So basically, um, at that point, calendars cannot be booked, or like that day in that calendar cannot be booked. So if you do schedule a time to where you are going out of state, you're taking a vacation, you're spending time with family, whatever it may be, since they talk back and forth, you can block out that day, or you can put it in the back end of this system as a personal time, completely block out that entire day. And, you know, going forward, if you have staff or VAs or employees that are making calendars or making appointments for you in calendars, they're not able to select that day. And that is one of the biggest things for me, because before starting doing all this, I never had Calendly or anything like that. And really it was one of those things where I was keeping it. It was honestly kind of primal. I was keeping all of that information like on a notepad on my computer. And, you know, my wife would call me and say, hey, you know, what are you doing on the 15th? And I'm like, I don't know. I have to get home. And I get home and I read it. And then I have to get back with her. And then I have to type it into my notepad and then save and hope to God that it's saved correctly, or that I can find it, you know, in the back. Where now I literally I load up my phone and I select a day. I make an appointment for personal time, and it blocks out everything. So nobody can book me. No one
Through the
you know,
app. Through
yeah,
the
yeah,
RCRS app. Yeah.
yeah. So at any point in time, my wife can call me and say, hey, next Saturday, you know, I see that you don't have anything. We're doing this. I can go in, or she can go in and just put that down, and it blocks out that day for me. So it really helps with like double booking and everything else. So
Oh, man.
it's the
Absolutely.
personal time that you're able to get back, as well as everything else. So everything serves a great business function, but it also improves your personal life as well.
So say there's an individual with two businesses, right? Real estate. He does real estate on the side. He's working his way back to do full time, or not back, but he's working to be full time real estate investor.
Right.
He has another business or something like that he's working on. Can he do both of those businesses on this one dashboard, basically, or do you have to? How does that work?
Well, there's a few different
Can you
ways.
break it up?
I mean, honestly, I haven't really had anyone. Usually, this is set up for just one thing, just so it doesn't get messy. Now, you can have two separate logins for two separate dashboards and run them independently.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to, depending on how the business works and what connections it needs to make, you know, if it's not going to get too messy in the back end for you, you literally could. So as long as you're, you know, so if you were to create, you know, and once again, it's one of those things that's a personal preference.
Yeah.
So when we go over to settings, right, we come to settings, and then we can go to domains. Now, we can create a domain. It's a very quick, simple process to connect. But if we create that domain, then we can buy it through Google or however you want to do it. and then we can have a different domain depending on whatever it is. So you can build sites and funnels independently. So if you do want to run them on the back end, now the only thing that's going to hurt you from is if you want to send out mass emails to everybody. Now, if you literally want to select a mass email list and select every single person in your system ever and market something to, you'll have to work on the tagging process. But honestly, it's a fairly simple process as long as you're willing to put that extra little 30 seconds in to type in that tag. And then you can definitely keep them separated, because you can literally come, basically it'll automatically, so you can take tags and you can say, business one, and then tag them independently. So you can have it tag them 17 different ways from one form entry if you want to. So if you wanted to run it that way, you could definitely do so.
Yeah, it's not a normal thing, but just in case,
right,
you can
so,
do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a wholesale business and you also, say, say you've got your products or whatever, or you got your business, and then you also have a Shopify, which this also connects with.
True. Yeah.
Then you could come in and connect in with both of those and run both of them from it.
Okay.
So yeah, Shopify,
Awesome.
it does connect if you are selling products and stuff through that.
Cool, man. Well, let's do one last thing, because I covered a lot of stuff.
Dude, we still barely. Well, I
know.
think we got a good chunk of it knocked
But
out.
I think you talked about a lot of stuff as a real estate investor would need, right?
Mhm.
Start a brand new investor. This is perfect for a brand new investor, even for a seasoned investor, obviously, as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, honestly, I run into people all the time, and I show them this system, and this is what I run into. A lot of times, people, they have something relative to this, but they don't really show people how to use it. They don't populate it with systems and automations in the back end. They just sell you the system, and then it's up to you.
Yep.
So a lot of people end up not using it.
Yep. I've been there, done that.
Yep.
we kind of get stuck on the shiny object, right?
Right.
So and one of the main questions I get is, what kind of CRM are you using? Right. And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, I'm not really using it,
Right.
because I don't have somebody like yourself to walk me through it. Right. I could probably figure it out.
But when you're not, inclined to work on systems like this, if it's not done for you, you pay whatever amount of money they want, and then they might include a few basic things that don't serve an actual purpose. And, and you're either going to pay them or just forget about it. And then a lot of times this is what they rely on. You start using it and you're like, well, they don't tell you can export all your data from it. They just tell you, oh yeah, you got it. And they're like, well, I guess I'll just keep it, so then you're stuck paying $400 or $500 a month with a system you don't even touch.
But I think, and I definitely want to emphasize this is obviously an amazing product, but you, as the one who created it, and you have a real estate investor mindset, because you've done real estate investing and you work with a lot of the big players here in Arkansas.
Right.
You know what they're looking for. You built this really additionally to make your life better.
Oh yeah.
Because you have a photography business.
Right.
You have your the stuff you do with the RIA, right?
Dude,
and I mean, some 2 or 3 other things that you do. That you've told me
I mean,
about.
I do a lot of stuff with a lot of different businesses, but really for the last few years, so that's always kind of been my thing, is just finding ways, because, I've been there. Like, I worked for somebody for a long time and just never got anywhere with it. And it doesn't matter if I showed up, showed out, killed it, nailed it. I never got anywhere with it. So I decided one day I'm just not, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm taking the entrepreneurial side of things. And I just, without a plan, quit my job. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, whatever, I'm out. And honestly, it's crazy where it led me, because now I'm doing stuff like this. And I started working with the Investors Association. And then I started working with a bunch of different investors, and people started doing with websites. And honestly, it's one of those things where I didn't go to school for anything. because my approach isn't taught like school. I'm not called school taught. When I decided that I was going to quit my job and start working for myself, I had to figure out ways to make it work.
Yeah.
And then I'm one of those people that when I put my mind to something, I sit down and I figure out until it works.
Yeah.
And then when it works, I try to find ways to make it better. I'm never satisfied with my own product. And that's what keeps me moving forward. But really, the cool thing about it is I had to learn how to do this. And pretty much the challenge, and especially with a lot of the businesses that I work with, I'm 100% behind entrepreneurs. Anything I can do to help somebody grow their business is really what keeps me going, because seeing them succeed, I've been there where, I quit my business. I didn't have any, or I quit working. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a business. I didn't have a plan, and I had to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
And being able to share the knowledge of what I started with. And dude, I started a landscape business because that's what I did for years and years and years. And it was just overly saturated.
Yeah. Especially here.
Still have people call me today. I haven't done that in 10 years, probably.
Wow.
And people still call me today. Like when I say that, I'm literally sending business off to other landscapers because, it doesn't happen every single day now, but I still have people somewhere out there. I did not remove some of the stuff because I've embedded myself into the internet so heavy,
Yeah.
doing it organically that I simply can't even remove myself.
Yeah.
And that's really the thing is working with a lot of people. A lot of people don't have the startup money. They have to figure out organic ways to reach people. And that's been my challenge that I've excelled at and learned from the business is how to organically gather leads, how to organically gather traffic. I haven't spent any money on advertising in years. Everything I do is completely organic. And honestly, the fall season, especially with the photography, gets to the point I'm so busy, I barely even get time to spend with the kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But this was an option to be able to offer that kind of time because, like I said, it's not the money, it's the time that I'm able to spend with my kid. And I understand that, a lot of other people and a lot of entrepreneurs, they're not building money and they're not stacking cash for themselves. They're doing it to enrich their family and all this other stuff. And that's my why. So that's the reason I'm doing it. And if I can find some way to make your business better, to make your business succeed, to where you can buy that time back with your family and stuff like that, and things that are important to you, I'm here for it. Because, if I can help you get through things without struggling to learn the whole process like I did, that's all I need for it,
I love it, man. Well, speaking of family time, I know you have to get back to your family. It's late already. So
Probably sleeping.
let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the social media side, and then we'll just end it there.
Okay. Yeah. And then maybe one day we can jump on and say build another little section of the site, because we still have to build in a few automations and a few funnels and forms and stuff. We can kind of cover that better. If you have some people that watch this and have some interest in it and people want to know certain things about it, let's do it again.
Hey, let's do this. Before you do that, can you change your name? Can you add your phone number to your the banner below? People, I know you're obviously gonna everybody know what's your phone number, your contact information, but
well, I simply don't even know how to do. So can we like a chat? We can drop like
yeah. We can do that.
So here's the thing: I get 1 million phone calls a day because I operate so many businesses.
Gotcha.
I just don't want to miss that call. But if you go to my website, you can put your information in there, and it asks you a few simple questions like, what problems do you face in your business? What things do you wish you could be better at? What tools and stuff could you use to enrich your business? And you fill out that simple form, it drops me the information, and I will instantly get back in contact with you the moment it comes in.
And what we'll do too, Seth, is I'll add it to the description, because we're going to add this on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add to my Facebook your contact information as well. Okay, so people in the future who watch this, they can contact you by email or wherever, how you want to do that. Okay, let's just do that then. All right. Cool. We'll talk about social media side, how we can integrate that, and then done for the day.
Okay. So I'll kind of show.
Because I'm trying to do a lot more social media, a lot of Instagram, do a lot of Facebook posts, things like that, Twitter.
Right.
You can do all that through this.
So this one they just started, but I don't know if they have their setups yet. So they've only got 2 things connected. So we don't really have. Well, let's see here. Okay. So this is my photography dashboard, and you can kind of see the setup here. Very kind of simple. Are you talking about as far as like the social manager and everything like that? Is that what you're wanting to see?
Yep.
Okay. So that's another thing. If you do a business that has affiliate, it's got an affiliate manager in it. You can do campaigns. You can make certain websites, or you can pretty much assign. I don't know if people know how affiliates work, but basically you assign a code to somebody. As long as they share the site from them with their code on it, you can pay them automatically.
A lot of people, most the big players in real estate investing, they do that, right? They'll promote a product and they'll say put Ace Morby / whatever it is, right, on it. And
depending on where you're at in your business, you could use it. And like I said, it's one of those things that grows with you. Like you have that option from the get-go, whether you use it or not, but so yeah, as I was saying earlier, you can kind of see a few of these things. I just recently kind of started using this for my own business. Like I don't actually do a lot of social posts because I don't know.
Just don't.
I just don't, And I started recently doing it. And I'm telling you, like, so when it comes down to like Twitter, like the reason I don't do it is because, as you said before, I'm working with a few different investors here in Arkansas. And I'm working with realtors, and I'm working with wholesale businesses. I'm working with coffee shops. Like I literally am doing this stuff for every different type of business. So basically, I'm literally designing a playbook and a workflow for so many businesses, and I'm managing their stuff that I simply don't have time to advertise myself. And it's honestly one of those things where organically it's reaching people, and I can't keep up with the work for myself as it is. So, but so as far as like the setups and stuff, man, like I said, you connect your socials here, and you've got a planner, and it works a lot like Facebook planning. You can come in, select the day if you want to do social planning, but it makes it very, very simple. So you can see all of your scheduled posts. You can see the posts that you've made. So you can see in this one, I think, Twitter had an issue the other day, but it was anyway, it's very, very simple to create. I don't do Twitter, to be honest with you. I've never understood Twitter. I know that there's a lot of people that use Twitter. I don't use Instagram because I'm just old enough that I don't understand Instagram. Like I understand Facebook, and from what my wife's sister, she's like early 20s, I think, right at 20. She's like, Facebook's for old people. I'm like, I guess that's the only thing I understand, and that's why. But so this has made it so simple. So like another thing, and this is a huge thing for me, Google My Business. I was talking about ranking you organically. The more active you are on Google My Business, the more posts that you're making on your My Business page, the more visual representation you'll get. And they're changing it constantly, which is great, but it's also negative. With the way that they're doing it, they're changing the layout, they're changing everything, and they've got it in some configuration right now that I can't even figure out how to go to Google My Business and make a post. It's just impossible. And I literally do this every day. So I'm using the system because it automatically connects in with the back end of it. I can post to Google. I can post to Twitter, even though I don't use it. I can post to Instagram, even though I don't use it. I can post to Facebook, which is the only one I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
But say if I want to make a new post, you can import multiple files if you want to. So if you have somebody that's a social media manager that wants to create all this stuff, if they create something in like Canva or something like that designed for Twitter or designed for Instagram or whatever, you can import each individual one all as one lump file. But if it's just you, create a new post. And then you can literally come in and you literally just drop in your media. Since I'm a photographer, I got a million things.
Love it.
And it does that weird thing where it doesn't show properly until it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But you can literally come in and adjust it. And if I want to post this to Facebook and Twitter, I can post this to Facebook, Twitter, add as much as I want to. You've got emojis, you've got bold. That's another thing that like Facebook won't allow you to bold things. But you can, to do that, you usually have to spend a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And there's a certain program that you use on the internet that you copy and paste it to. Yeah, this just allows you to do so.
Awesome.
You can post in videos. I don't have any videos on the back end there. But you got hashtags. You can literally, if you've got a tagging, so your tagging system, if you want to put your business name there, you literally say account, and you can put your website, your logo, whatever it is that you want it to be. So this will say Bear Photography wants to congratulate, however I want to do it. But say I make that post, Google, you can literally come in, I can write something completely different. And then Instagram, I can do, so this image isn't supported because it's designed a certain way. But basically, if I want to take it, click which one I want, and then just click, into that. And I can rapidly create content for all the major platforms quickly. And also TikTok's in there. I don't use TikTok because I don't understand it. So
new age. Yeah, I don't TikTok.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's really simple.
Awesome. You really don't need to do a story. Can you do a story through here? Instagram story, or is it just through the regular post?
So story is we can't do stories yet.
Yeah.
Working.
You only do it to your phone anyways, but
right. And it's just technology is hitting so rapidly fast that it's hard to keep up. But like essentially we'll just kind of slowly update the back and change, nothing that crashes or changes massively. And you'll see notes as well. Like if anything does move, when you load up that page as you used to, it'll say, hey, we've moved this to this place, and it's just a more user-friendly experience. But it'll be a quick link. You click it and take you right to where you need to go. But we'll, as it grows, and we can get more content and new ways to adapt things to the system, things will come out. And yeah, the goal overall, I would love to kind of build into all that stuff. But
here's the cool thing about this, right? You can continually make this better as new things come up, right? So there may be a new Facebook out there, right? You can add that to it. There's just so many things that you can do because you're a creator of this, number one.
Right. And
there's always things to adapt. We could adapt later on at a later date.
And if you have anything, for an example, if you have something that you want to connect, now it's one of those things where they have to allow API access. But if you're, if you're wanting to create something or wanting to connect something that you don't typically have, access to already, you can generate an API key, copy that API key, and then if you have anybody that can do APIs and stuff like that, then you can link it. So like with Zaps and stuff, a lot of those times they work with API keys. If you're using lead generations like Leads Gorilla or something like that, they usually connect and integrate with APIs. So that service has to support it, but anything that can support an API key that can talk back and forth with the system, with a system that has the generation of the API, we can create that. So yeah, you see where it says for Zapier and API integrations.
Yep.
If you have information on, like, and this is something that I haven't set up a lot because I don't have access to these things yet, but I know a lot of people use the Zaps for time clocks, and you can keep information on time clocks and stuff like that. Like there's unlimited amounts of things that hadn't even got to it. So, you can connect it with different things with Zapier and all that. I just, my goal is to have every potential option that you could ever use ever in one place. But you do have that access if you want to build onto it extra.
And that's something like I said, at a later date, they'll, that customer will talk to you and build it up how they want, what they need in their business.
For sure.
I love it, dude. I love it. Well, this is awesome, man. So number one, thank you for your time. Let me change the.
Let's see if I can't get you back on the main screen here. Oh, it's like you can just.
There you go. I love that.
I don't know how to exit full screen. There we go. Yeah, I'm a big nerd. If you hadn't. Oh God.
That's cool.
I could create some crazy stuff, but I can't. I can show you how to effectively run your business, but I can't control my basic internet, or basic computer. But
I think that's. Yeah, we should be good now. You're full screen now.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out how to cancel.
That's all good. It's all good.
So my screen's not sharing now?
Yeah, you're good now. Yep, I took it off.
Now I can kind of see the whole screen then. There we go.
Awesome. Well, Seth, man, I really appreciate this. I think this is be a great program for, like I said, new investors or just anybody who has a small business.
Oh
right? Yeah, a brand, somebody with a single person business, or you could have a business with multiple employees.
All right. I mean, and it works great if it is just you.
Yeah.
Or if it's you and like 3 other people. And a lot of times, like I said, I'm working with a lot of people that are in their beginning stages, to where they don't have a lot of things and they don't know what to go for and they don't know what they need. And this just kind of helps them really put all their ducks in a row and just follow it, and like I said, if you kind of pick it up, most of the time, and that's another thing I'll also drop in this as well. If you have another type of business, it doesn't take me very long to kind of come up with some kind of plan. And so most businesses use very simple functions. And it's much more complex than you think. Like investors are very complex because there's nothing else that's like it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of businesses, it won't take long, and I can build you something to pretty much fit anything. And every time, somebody's interested in this, there's a free consultation call, as far as like, how can we implement this in their business? Is it right for you? I'm not going to try to sell you something that I know you won't use, because one, it's going to take up your time. It's going to take up your money. It's going to take up, you know what I mean? So if it's something that just doesn't fit your business style, for some crazy reason, because it fits almost everybody, you can really, I mean, we'll figure that out. But at any point, if you're a coffee shop or you're, a regular service, whatever it is, I can show you ways to generate leads, generate contacts, and find ways. So for an example, tree service, I know that has nothing to do with investors. But basically we're going to offer a free quote for a house or for a tree job. And that's what you're going to do anyway. But basically, it's like you would say, I'm interested in seeing how much this is, blah, blah, blah. You're going to put your information in. We're going to capture that information. Then a massive storm is going to come through the area, and then we're going to blast out an email to every single person, be like, hey, that was a crazy storm. I hope everybody's okay. By the way, if you have any trees down, there's ways to organically reach people and create that business. And then you can build it in a referral system and your review system. So you're going to build your business, but just about any business we can literally take and find a way to make it better, whether that be a free birthday offer that gets sent out on the birthday. If you're selling a certain product, get 10% off or $1 off or whatever, we'll automatically send them out to them. They come back, they share it. There's tons and tons of ways we can implement this into almost any business. So,
well, I mean, in any business, what do they need, right? They need a website, right? They need a way to track their customers, right? Follow up with their customers.
Generate leads.
In today's business, you need to have some type of social media, right, to market, right? So access to your Google ads, your Facebook ads, right? See how they're doing. Your review process, right? Google reviews. What else? What else? I think that's one of the really the all the stuff you really need. QuickBooks.
Yeah,
QuickBooks.
Like I said,
to pay, if you need to pay for service, it's on here as well.
A what?
If you need to pay for some type of product or service, right? You can add that in here as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, everything connects with Stripe. So you create a Stripe account and you can sell a product. You can sell whatever you want to through it. Like I said, you can create a membership if you have a service. That's another thing. We were talking a little bit about, and we didn't cover that, but in the membership section, you can either sell memberships where you can sell that to where you can sell a course if that's the way. So as you get real big and you start to become a speaker, so you find the key to something or some real estate advantage or something, you're like, wow, this is amazing, and you want to start selling, you can sell an online course. Or two, you can use those online courses for like HR and onboarding. So you could literally do videos training your team. Now, when I say that, you can, if you want to hire VAs, you can literally design a video course just like you're doing now. You're sitting there recording right in your office there. You can design a video course that teaches them how you want it to be said, how you want it to be, you can show them every little thing. You can have a call that you put in the video or, however you want to do it. And you can train and onboard new VAs or employees through a full video system that you can send them a link and they can view on their own time. And you can see their progress and where everybody's at. I mean, literally, it is so robust. And like I said, every time anyone ever asks me, well, what does it do?
Does everything.
Everything.
Everything you need to run a business, basically.
And I really wish, that I could tell you everything it does, but I need to know what you need it for. Yeah. And that's one of the things
for that individual.
Right. So as you talk to me and I figure out what issues you're facing, I can show you what it does, but otherwise, like I said, we scratched the surface. There's a bunch of things we didn't even touch or didn't even look at. And this is like, how do you break that down into a little pitch,
Yeah.
Someone's like, you got 30 seconds, go. And I'm like, and that's the thing. You're buying a system that molds around your business, the way you do business, the way you work, the way you talk to customers, the way, you're not buying something. And that's another thing. There's, like I said, there's a million other companies out there that do this and everybody does it. But the problem that I see with it is they don't really have the entrepreneur in mind. They sell a system that's templated, that it works for everybody. Good luck.
Yep.
And they just don't offer everything. And if you're going to build it for them, or if they're going to build it for you or give you something that's more designed, they're going to charge you a lot and it's still not going to be right. But they're always so vague and so general that they don't convert. My goal is to create something that converts a lead into a customer hands-free, where everyone claims to do it, but it's
I mean, let's think about it right now. It's a proven system, right? You just told me about that story about that one business owner.
Mhm.
She took a week off, and she can't
Right.
remember the last time probably she had a week off like that.
So on top of that, she wasn't even a month into her, and you can actually go to my Facebook and watch an interview, a video interview with her. So it's just Infinite CRS on Facebook, um, and literally she's talking about since she started using this, it wasn't even a month into the system, um, into her using it, and she had her products in 2 new states. We sent out another thing where, so basically, I also do data scraping for businesses, so you can get business leads. I do them really cheap. When I say really cheap, I'll send out like, so I'll give you a list of like 500 for like $50. So they're verified. So I run them through a verification system, so you're going to get them. You're going to get actual verified leads. But basically, we scraped leads in a very certain niche, for 2 different states, and we sent out a cold campaign where it follows up with them 6 times over the course of a month, and it says, "Hey, we're looking to get in your area. Do you want to try our product? We want to send it to you. See what you think." And she picked up 2 new customers in 2 completely different states, not the other 2 states. So she went in 4 states technically. Within a month, she got into 4 new states,
That's
um,
awesome.
and 4 new businesses. Um, and then once they convert, so she's made wholesale orders, at a mass volume since using this, simply because the follow up system. She doesn't have to contact them. She doesn't have to stay on top of them. She makes that initial call. She puts them in the easy form, and it comes in. It follows up with them until they reply or convert, and then if they don't, it sends her staff a notification to get back in contact with the customer, and then they convert that through the sales call. Um, and so literally there's no way to drop that customer. So she's able to retain people. And that's the thing with CRS. CRM has got a bad name. Um, and that's customer relationship management, which everybody needs it. But honestly, a lot of people see CRMs as a digital phone book. They don't understand their purpose. So the reason it's CRS is because I call it a customer retention system, and that's because that's my goal. I don't aim to give you a digital phone book. I aim to retain your customers and build your business. But she literally, so she's the one that had, within, like I said, within a month, she went up to like 50 reviews. She's in 4 new states. She's making wholesale orders. We're in the process of building and automating her entire system to where basically, when with all of her main businesses that buy from her routinely, it automatically sends them a follow up within 30 days and says, "Hey, do you need anything?" And then sends them an order form that they can fill out. It gets populated back to them. They fill the order and send it out. And then it waits a little bit of time. And then so she's following up with every business hands off consistently and never has to lift a finger. She only has to wait for an order to come in so she can focus on things like building her business as far as like development, research, development, training staff, building and making her product and finding ways to make her product better, design, as far as she can focus on all the things that are making her money and not the busy follow up that she's going to take, as well as she's also not paying somebody to sit there all day long and make phone calls because the
Yeah,
system takes care
does
of
it
all of it for them.
amazing.
It's crazy, man. Like, it was the most
That's
exciting thing
that's
ever,
super exciting, man.
dude.
I'm really excited for you, but I'm really excited for me, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because
we
once we get
got
this
you
up
on it
and
now, and
running, yeah, this is very, very cool, man. I think every investor needs to have this program, this software
yeah,
in their
for
life.
sure.
Um,
And
and you're gonna be, you got to work out the kinks and things like that,
all right,
but it's very customizable, that I can tell,
right.
right? Um, and number one too is I can tell you love this product, bro.
Hmm. Dude, it's a
You,
blast.
you can tell you love it. There's um, and the love and care that you put into the software, it shows, right? So I really think, in the next 2 years, right? And I'm talking about on the investor side,
Right.
you can buy a lot of property through creative finance. Um, but you got to reach out to a lot of people. You got to reach out to a lot of realtors, a lot of sellers, and if you miss a follow up, you can lose that deal.
Yeah, it's done.
And I think you have to have something like this in place now. You have to have it now before it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the real estate world, dude, this really 100% separates you. Having something like this 100% separates you from everybody else. And like I said, the reason is because the system takes care of that follow up for you. It takes care of converting them from a lead to a customer,
Yep.
and then it notifies you. I want to say I say customer because that's but a lead to I guess what would you call them in real estate? Uh,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, like it really is a
yeah,
client,
like
you know?
it's
Yeah,
but basically the conversion process is what takes your time. And
yeah,
two, like I said, a lot of times people are doing a lot of things. And if you're doing high and it works both ways. If you're brand new to it, most of the time you're doing investing and then you're not doing 100% investing, you're investing and you're working your day job until you get investing going. And
yep,
then for a little bit, you're good because you've got a steady inflow, income or steady flow of business, and it's not overwhelming. But then when you get to, and this is the problem that I run into with a bunch of the investors that I work with now. Um, you know, at first it was one of those things where it's kind of slow, and then I saw him kind of steady out and everything was good, and then it got to the point where it was just too much
yeah.
and they
Oh,
could not keep up with everything, so they're dropping balls left and right, and they don't have anything to maintain the standard that they've produced for themselves in the midway. So
yep.
you need it to get started to gain traction, and then you need it in the back end
Sustain
to,
it.
yeah. So yeah, it literally works both ways. Like the middle is your only easy common ground where you don't need something like this, but you don't want to stay in the middle too long. Your goal is to get from starting, I'm going to start doing this. Where do I start to I'm making ridiculous amounts of money. That's the goal of an investor. So,
Bro, I love it, man. So how does somebody make contact with you to maybe do a private session and see
yeah.
if that's a good fit for them?
So that one, if you go to infinitecrs.com, and I guess you can drop that in
Yep,
that
in the
there.
description. Yep.
Yeah, it says go to infinitecrs.com, and it kind of covers, what the system, it's kind of a overall gist of what it does. And it kind of shows that. And you'll see a little bouncing box there. It says book a demo call or free
Mhm.
consultation, something like that. It's a few different places on there. Once you click that, it runs you. And like I said, it asks you a few simple questions like what issues do you face? What needs to be better in your business? And, if there's one problem that we could solve for you today, what would it be? You answer that. And then it takes you to a calendar. And once again, this is all built through this system, but it takes you to a calendar. You select your day that you want to speak, or that you have time to sit down and go over it, and then you pretty much just show up for that call, and then I'll do a consultation with you, figuring out as far as where we can implement this into your business, what things we can solve, what issues we can solve, um, and then from there, you know, I take the notes, I build automations and stuff in the systems for you, as far as just your basic automations to get going in your forms. Websites, I can build you a simple website. If you want something really in depth, then it might be something you Fiverr, because I'm just one guy at the
Yeah.
moment. Um, but I'll get you set up basically to get you going. So I won't just be like, okay, there it is, good luck. I'll set up something basically to get you going, solve your common issues and
Mhm.
your biggest issues. And then, so if you're an investor, this will be done for you. Like me and you have been working on it. You've been doing this for a while. Like, I've been around it forever, but I'm literally getting into the mind of somebody that is doing this day in, day out and
Yep.
killing it.
Yep.
So I know that working with you, I'm going to get something that's going to be something that's going to work for everybody. Um, but if you're an investor, pretty much give me a day, I drop everything to you, and you're off to the races with a few simple setups. We'll set up another phone call to get you connected on the back end as far as like your custom values. Very quick, simple process. Connect your domains and get you rocking, and you're off to the races.
There
But
you go.
yeah, infinitecrs.com. Fill out that form. get with me, and we'll set up a consultation call for sure.
Seth Williamson, everybody. What an amazing person. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, I could tell that you love this product.
Yeah.
It's obviously successful already, proven by not even an investor, just a local business owner. And super excited to work with you in the future on this, get this going. But like I said, if you have any questions, please go to infinitecrs.com. Is that right? infinitecrs.com.
And if you have a question that you want to, if you don't want to go through the form, you'll see a little pop-up box that comes up, and it says you have questions. You can chat with us right there.
Cool. Sounds easy enough, man. All right, man. Well, good night, and we'll be talking shortly.
Have a good one, man. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Seth.
much.
Yep. Thank you.